Their skin may shock you, but their strength will leave you speechless. In today's video, we're diving into the most bizarre skin conditions ever seen. These are not just rare disorders, these are real stories of survival and unshakable confidence. You've never seen anything like this. Ashlyn Blocker. Ashlyn Blocker looks like any normal girl from Georgia, but she lives in a world without pain. From the moment she was born, something was different. Ashlyn has a super rare condition called SEPA. That means her body doesn't feel pain or changes in temperature. Most people would pull away from something hot or sharp, but Ashlyn feels nothing at all. What sounds like a strange superpower is actually a serious medical mystery, but life without pain isn't easy at all. Ashlyn can get badly hurt and not even notice. She could break a bone or cut herself and walk around like nothing happened. And because her body also can't control temperature well, she can overheat easily. Her parents have to watch her all the time. Even simple things like playing outside or running need extra care just to keep her safe. Taking care of Ashlyn means doctor visits, physical therapy, and regular health checks. Her family works hard to stay ahead of problems she might not feel herself. Although insurance helps, her care still takes time, energy, and money. But her family never gives up. They make sure she lives a full life and stays as healthy as possible. Ashlyn doesn't let SEPA stop her. With the love and support of her family, she still plays, explores, and enjoys life in her own way. She even speaks out about her condition to help others understand what living with SEPA is really like. Her story is more than just rare, it's inspiring, and it shows the strength of someone who faces daily danger without fear. Winnie Harlow. She was once bullied for how she looked, but today she walks the biggest runways in the world. Winnie Harlow, born as Chantel Brown Young on July 27, 1994 in Toronto, Canada, became famous not just for her beauty, but for her bravery. She has a skin condition called vitiligo, which causes white patches on her skin. Instead of hiding it, she embraced it and became a top model after appearing on America's Next Top Model. Vitiligo is a condition where the skin loses its color in certain areas. This happens when the cells that give skin its color, called melanocytes, stop working. The patches often appear on the face, hands, or legs. Anyone can get vitiligo, but it's more visible in people with darker skin. Doctors believe it might be caused by the immune system attacking its own skin cells, though no one knows for sure. Growing up, Winnie was teased and called cruel names like zebra and cow, but instead of hiding, she turned her pain into power. She accepted her skin just the way it was and decided to show the world that beauty comes in many forms. Winnie started speaking up for body confidence and pushed the fashion world to be more diverse and inclusive. Living with vitiligo isn't easy. There's no full cure, and treatments like creams, light therapy, or even makeup can only help so much. But Winnie doesn't try to cover her skin, she proudly shows it. She has become a symbol of courage and self-love, proving that being different is something to celebrate. Through her modeling and message, she inspires millions to love themselves exactly as they are. Zhang Rufeng. At the age of 101, Zhang Rufeng, from a small village in China, shocked her family and neighbors with something strange growing from her forehead. It started as just a rough patch of skin, but over time it slowly turned into a horn, and now it's longer than 6 centimeters. What's even more surprising? Another one might be growing on the other side of her head too. And her youngest son, who is 60 years old, remembers when the patch first showed up. Back then, no one thought it was serious, but as the horn got longer, they couldn't ignore it anymore. The family is now deeply worried, especially because a second growth seems to be forming. It's hard for them to watch this happen without knowing what's really going on. Doctors believe this could be something called a cutaneous horn. These are hard, horn-like growths that often appear in older people. Usually they are small, only about 1 or 2 centimeters long, but Zhang's case is very different. Her horn is huge compared to most, and though many of these growths are harmless, doctors always suggest checking them to make sure they're not something dangerous. Life at her age is already tough, but this condition has made things even harder for Zhang. It's not just about her health anymore. Her family worries how people might react to her appearance. Right now, doctors still don't know why this is happening. The family is hoping for answers and looking for treatment before the condition gets worse. Abul Bajendar. His hands looked like they were made of wood. Abul Bajandar, a man from Bangladesh, shocked the world with his rare condition that made his hands and feet grow thick, bark-like warts. This disease, called tree man syndrome, is so rare that fewer than 10 people in the world have ever been diagnosed with it. Abul couldn't even hug his own daughter. The growths were so heavy and painful, they made everyday life feel like torture. He once lived as a beggar in Kula, a city in southwestern Bangladesh. By the time he was 35, he felt completely hopeless. For more than 20 years, these massive warts had controlled his life. But everything changed in 2016. Doctors at Dhaka Medical College Hospital stepped in and performed life-changing surgeries to remove the tree-like lumps from his body. Suddenly, Abul had a chance to live like a normal person again. Things were finally looking up, but then came a heartbreaking turn. The lead doctor, Dr. Samantha Lal Sen, explained that the treatment was going well, but Abul left the hospital and didn't return. Without follow-up care, the disease came back. The strange growths began spreading to new parts of his body and were now an inch long again. He finally returned to the hospital, but the damage had already begun. Before the surgery, even eating or showering was nearly impossible for him. But after the operation in 2017, he could finally write and feed himself again. The Bangladeshi government had paid for his surgeries and promised to help more if needed. Abul's story is one of deep pain, incredible strength, and a reminder that proper care must never be delayed when you're fighting something this rare. Valeria Lukianova. She looked just like a Barbie doll, but she was real. Valeria Lukianova from Ukraine became famous around the world for her unbelievable appearance. Born in 1992, she turned herself into a human Barbie with heavy makeup and many surgeries. People were shocked by her tiny waist, big eyes, and plastic-like features. Her photos went viral, and she quickly became an internet star. But behind that doll-like face was a deeper story. Valeria was suffering from a mental health condition called body dysmorphic disorder, or BDD. It made her feel like her natural face and body were never good enough. She believed that looking exactly like a Barbie would make her feel beautiful and accepted. This obsession pushed her to get breast implants, a nose job, and even facial contouring to look less human and more like a doll. Her look caused a storm on social media. Some people admired her confidence and her bold lifestyle of fitness and beauty. Others were deeply concerned. They felt she was sending the wrong message to young people by chasing an unrealistic beauty standard. Her life turned into a mix of fame, judgment, and never-ending attention, both good and bad. But the cost of looking like Barbie wasn't just emotional, it was financial too. Valeria reportedly spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on her surgeries, aftercare, and beauty treatments. And even after all that, she still struggled mentally, always chasing the next fix, never feeling fully satisfied. In some of her interviews, she quietly admitted how hard it was to live up to her own image, and how exhausting it was to keep pretending to be the perfect doll. Tree Man. He looked like something out of a fantasy movie, but Deddy Koswara was a real man from Indonesia. People all over the world called him the Tree Man, and when you saw him, you'd know why. Since his teenage years, strange bark-like growths started to cover his body. It wasn't dirt or costume, it was a rare genetic condition called epidermodysplasia verruciformis. These growths were so thick and rough they looked like real tree branches growing from his hands and feet. The condition was extremely rare. It caused his skin to react differently to the human papillomavirus, HPV, turning small warts into massive tree-like lumps. Over the years, they kept growing, spreading across his face, arms, and legs. Deddy's body slowly changed into something people had never seen before. He couldn't hold things, walk properly, or even take care of himself. His life was full of pain, both physical and emotional. But Deddy's story didn't stay hidden. In 2007, a video of him went viral and shocked the world. He was featured on Discovery Channel and TLC's show My Shocking Story in an episode called Half Man, Half Tree. Then in 2008, ABC's Medical Mysteries featured him again. The world watched as doctors tried to help him. That year, he had 9 surgeries, removing about 95 warts, almost 6 kilograms of extra skin. For a while, he could move his hands and feet again, and it felt like a new beginning. Sadly, his condition kept coming back. Doctors told him he would need surgeries twice every year to stay stable, but his health kept getting worse. On January 3rd, 2016, at just 44 years old, Deddy Kozwara passed away in a hospital in Bandung, Indonesia. His story became a powerful reminder of how difficult life can be for those living with rare diseases and how strong a person has to be to live through it. Johnny Kennedy. Johnny Kennedy came into this world in 1966 with a condition so rare and painful it turned simple things like walking or hugging into a nightmare. People called him the butterfly child because his skin was as delicate as butterfly wings. He had a genetic disorder called epidermolysis bullosa, or EB, which made his skin blister from the slightest touch. Even wearing clothes could cause wounds. But what stood out most about Johnny wasn't just his fragile body, it was his unbreakable spirit. Living with EB meant Johnny needed constant care from the day he was born. His skin had to be cleaned, bandaged, and protected every day. His family spent thousands just to keep him safe and comfortable. The disease caused painful blisters all over his body, and any small bump could open a wound. But despite all this, Johnny tried to live as normal a life as possible, smiling through the pain and making people laugh even when he was hurting. In 2003, Johnny's life was shown in a powerful documentary called The Boy Whose Skin Fell Off. It shocked people. The film showed how Johnny lived with EB, the pain he endured, and the courage he showed every single day. He once joked, "I don't know who Norm is, but I look a little bit different to him." That sense of humor, even in the face of constant pain, made him unforgettable. The documentary opened people's eyes to a condition most had never even heard of. Even after his death at age 36 in 2003, Johnny's story continues to make a difference. He raised awareness, supported medical research, and gave a voice to those suffering silently with EB. Organizations like Deborah still carry on his mission, fighting to find better treatments and helping families who live with this heartbreaking condition. Johnny Kennedy might have lived with fragile skin, but his strength touched the world in a way few ever do. Blue Man. His face was blue, literally blue. Paul Harrison looked like something out of a cartoon, but this wasn't makeup or a costume. It was real. Born in 1945, Paul lived a normal life until he started drinking colloidal silver, thinking it would make him healthier. It was a home remedy he believed in, but over time, it did something unexpected. His skin slowly turned a bluish-gray color, a condition known as argyria. One day, an old friend saw him and was shocked. "What happened to you?" the friend asked. Argyria happens when silver builds up in your body and settles in your skin, changing its color permanently. Paul kept using the silver solution for years, and eventually he looked almost like a blue cartoon character. Even though it didn't hurt his health, it changed his life forever. Because now, everyone stared. Paul became famous as the Blue Man. He was in interviews, TV shows, and documentaries. People were curious about him, but he didn't hide. He talked openly about what happened, warning others not to trust untested health tricks. He joked about it, stayed strong, and turned his condition into a message. "Be careful with what you put into your body," he would say. His story became a reminder of the risks of home remedies, and this was probably the most annoying thing that Doug did to exercise. Even after turning blue, Paul kept using silver, just a little less. He said it still helped him, even though it made him stand out in a way he never wanted. Emotionally, it wasn't easy. He faced judgment, loneliness, and the heavy weight of always being seen as different. Paul Harrison died in 2013, but he left behind a powerful lesson. His life was proof that even something as simple as a silver drink could change everything. Rajeshwari. She looks like she's made of stone. That's the first thing people think when they see Rajeshwari, a brave girl from India born with an extremely rare skin condition. Her skin is thick, dry, and scaly like rocks. It's called ichthyosis, a genetic disorder that makes skin grow in hard layers, much like fish scales. But in her case, it's even tougher, like stone. This condition is so rare and severe that her story has reached people all around the world. Her daily life is not easy at all. Every single day, she has to soak her body in water for a long time just to soften the skin. Then she carefully applies moisturizers and creams to keep it from cracking. If she skips this, her skin can become so tight that even moving hurts. It can crack open and cause painful wounds, so she has to be extremely careful. She also needs regular checkups and sometimes antibiotics because infections can happen quickly. Even simple things like walking or smiling can hurt her. Her skin is always stretched tight, and that makes everyday life very painful. There is no cure yet, and the treatment is expensive. Her family struggles with the cost of skin creams, doctor visits, and hospital care. It's a huge challenge for them, but they do everything they can to keep her safe and comfortable. Despite everything, Rajeswari keeps fighting. Her strength and her family's love keep her going. Doctors and scientists are still researching better treatments, and there is hope that one day things will improve. Until then, Rajeswari continues to face each day with courage, living a life that shows the world what true strength really means. Wolfman Chuy. He was born in 1968 in Laredo, Mexico, but the world knows him as the Wolfman. Jesus Chuy Aceves has a face that made people stare in shock. Thick hair grows all over his face and body, something very rare and almost mythical. This condition is called hypertrichosis, also known as werewolf syndrome. Only a few people in the entire world have ever had it, and what makes Chuy's story even more unusual, he's not the only one in his family with it. From the very beginning, Chuy's life wasn't easy. Kids made fun of him, people avoided him, and he was treated like he didn't belong. But instead of hiding away, Chuy made a bold choice. He joined the circus while he was still young. There, he proudly became the Wolfman and performed in front of huge crowds. His unusual look that once made him feel different now made him famous and gave him a voice to speak about his condition. Life with hypertrichosis isn't simple. There's no cure, so Chuy has to shave and trim his hair regularly to stay clean and comfortable. It's not just about looking neat, it's necessary for daily life. And for someone always in the spotlight, that grooming becomes even more important. His look is a big part of his public image, so staying presentable means a lot of effort, time, and money. Today, Chuy is more than just a man with a rare condition. He's a symbol of strength and acceptance. He teaches people that looking different doesn't mean being less. His story reminds us all to love ourselves just the way we are and to never be afraid of standing out. These people are not just different, they're unforgettable. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more unbelievable stories.